Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Owen Gifford Show. I'm your host, Owen Gifford, from Denver, Colorado, as always. I'm now on the seventh episode, been doing this for 7 weeks now, and I've been seeing some serious improvement in my stand up comedy. Just the ability to rant and talk for 30 minutes. And I mean, that really is my goal here. I'm doing all this podcast, all this social media, doing what I have to do. Those aren't the things that I necessarily enjoy, especially posting on social media, but I'm doing the things that I need to do comedy because that is really, what I love and what I'm the whole goal here is I'm trying to build 45 minutes of stand-up comedy that I'm really proud of. And I've been hitting open mics almost every day, every night, and I can do the shows. I could reach out and do like bar shows, but I really right now I'm focusing on the open mics because I really am trying to get to that 45 minutes of good material because then the world is just my oyster from them. Because once you have 45 minutes, then you go out and you create the act and you can travel around and you can really, put your name out there and being from and having a home club like Comedy Works in Denver, which is one of the best clubs in the country, if not the world. And this is like real professional touring comedians will say this. So this isn't just me like hyping the place up. Like it really is a very special place to do stand-up comedy. I mean, you walk down, just everything about it is very like so professional. Some clubs you walk into them and it's kind of just like a room with a microphone and some seats and a couple beers in the back. But this place, it's like an operation. You walk in and it's down the stairs. It's basements are great for stand-up comedy. You want low ceilings, dark rooms so people feel like they can laugh what they truly think is funny without being judged. And you want it to be low ceilings because you want everyone in the room to feel connected, close to each other. And just the crowds they get. Well, if you hit a punchline in front of 50 to 300 people, which is the max in there, it's pretty unreal. It feels unlike anything else because you're making people happy, you're helping out their day, but also it's just like you put in all this work and it makes all the work worth it when you hit those punchlines, and it's just it becomes like a drug. You're just like I got to get back to that place, so I got to work hard. I got to write new material, and I've performed there a few times, and I love it. I mean, that's the goal: getting there, getting places like there, and I've been writing in this podcast. I might not be getting many views on YouTube and Spotify right now, but it's also the beginning. I mean, you have to do something 100,000 times before you get views if you don't have an audience already. And I'm getting better already. I mean, the things I'm figuring out how to do just by doing the podcast. I learned how to create thumbnails for YouTube, and that boosted the views. You got to do shorts, which are like short videos on YouTube, and that boosts the views, and TikTok, and you got to do all these things. So I'm learning the business side behind creation and media, which will help me in my life and help me in stand up. Um, so even if this podcast somehow doesn't work out, but I believe it will, and I believe it will all add to something eventually, I'm still learning some serious skills. So even doing it 7 weeks has been such an improvement on just like being able to talk for 30 minutes and the bits. I've been using bits from here that are like working on stage, like real stand-up bits. I have to tweak them a little bit, but the ideas come from here. Like the idea that a boat is like the pinnacle of society, which was in my first episode. And how, a boat is no matter how poorly your life is going, a boat, like people will see you as your life is going well. And I've written a punchline for that. And that was from the first episode. And then I got some other ideas, and I've just really seen like such improvement in my writing from this podcast, and that's just awesome. and also just walking. If you're a creator, if you're a business, if you are a creator, an artist, sorry, I got to restart this for the clip. If you're a creator or an artist, businessman, whatever you really need to do, if you have to think of big ideas or pull something out of the air, I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is to go for a walk. Go for a walk in the woods because you don't realize it, but when you're walking in the city, your brain's thinking about the stoplight or the cars going by or the people walking by you. But when you go out into the woods and you don't have that distraction, you don't have the notifications on, you don't have anything. I mean, I put a little bit of music on. I think that's fine. Helps me think, honestly. When you have those things, you creatively will think about better things when you're in the woods and you're just walking and you don't have any distractions because like having just being in motion too, like your brain is a little bit distracted and it puts you in that mode where you can like really be creative. At least that's what I find. And if you believe in like the muse, which is the idea that like where do your thoughts come from? Does someone maybe give you your thoughts or they're kind of, ideas and thoughts come from weird places at weird times, kind of like a lightning bolt. So people talk about the muse in the creative world. And if you believe in that stuff, like your muse can really communicate with you when you're walking in the woods, just like the lightning bolts of ideas you'll get if you're like like really thinking about one idea while you're on a hike and you're exercising, you're getting your blood pumping, and you really just I really urge anyone who needs to like solve a problem or if you're a comic or a musician or you're writing something, an author or whatever, just take an hour, tip a couple hours and just do a long walk in the woods, and I guarantee you will think of some idea or you'll just feel better. You can't really go wrong there. Maybe you'll just feel better. But I don't know. And the muse thing is it's really weird because I will think of ideas just out of the middle of out of nowhere. And it's of course me thinking. And I've developed my brain because I've been doing stand up for about 4 years to like think of the funny things, and it's like getting better as a skill of thinking the joke, but you still have to like live your life. And when you get that pull to like, oh, I need to go do this thing for some reason, those are often the days when I go and do them that I'll think of some of my best bits. So it kind of feels like I was pulled to that bit, which I know kind of sounds crazy. And then yeah, I'll just get ideas from nowhere and they feel like a lightning bolt. And I think that's what, when people talk about a muse, that's what they're talking about. Or they're all schizophrenic and and the muse is just you know, schizophrenia. But I don't believe that's true. I do believe that I believe it's like your thoughts, but where does consciousness come from? Like your thought, it's your thoughts. But when you really sit and think about your thoughts, where do thoughts come from? That's like a whole philosophical conversation in itself. And I don't really know the answer, but I do know that when you if you're a stand up comic, maybe other artists, whatever, if you live your life, you will think of things and you kind of build the skill of developing jokes and making observations and finding the funny in it. And if you just get out and take a walk, I guarantee you will see improvement in your thinking. So yeah, that's my little soapbox rant for right now. But yeah, this podcast, it's going great. 7 weeks in. Now I sort of know how to do it, and I've seen what people like and what they don't like. I'm gonna try to get some more interviews going. My brother's wedding is coming up in a couple weeks. I'm the best man, so once that's out the way, that's taking a lot of time right now, and I can really focus on this, my podcast, my life media. Really inching my way up towards the top. We're gonna keep on going. All right, Cinco de Mayo just passed. This will come out on the 7th of May, and I wanted to just let everybody know that Cinco de Mayo just isn't a day to drink. It's a great day to drink, and I love the Mexican people and Mexican food and margaritas. What's better than a margarita? Not much. A margarita and a quesadilla, like what's a better combination? You can't really think of anything, you know? That's really up there. Those two. But I've always heard throughout my life that Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day, but that's not even true. Cinco de Mayo is actually the holiday that marks Mexico's victory over France in the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. So it wasn't Independence Day, it was just a battle against French forces. And at the time, Mexico was deeply in debt and had paused payments to European countries. So, in response, France, under Napoleon III, invaded Mexico to establish influence and possibly install a monarchy in Mexico. But despite being outnumbered and less equipped, the Mexican troops led by Ignacio Zaragoza, what a name, Ignacio Zaragoza, defeated the French and near the city of Puebla. And it didn't end the war, and the French even occupied Mexico briefly, but it became a powerful symbol of resistance and national pride, and created what, of course, is Mexico now. A couple things about this. One, if you're gonna drink, take the day off, have a few beers with your friends, drink some Modelo's, at least know why you're drinking. And it is not Mexican Independence Day. It is the Battle of Puebla. So next time you are out with your friends, you'll have a fun fact. And I really think that shows. I mean, that's success. Ignacio Zaragoza. Again, what a beautiful name. I think that is really success in this lifetime. Is if you can live your life to the point where later in 100 years people don't necessarily know what you did, but they drink large amounts of alcohol in your name. I think that is really the mark of a successful life. Like, you really did a lot with your short time on this earth. As the dust in the wind, you were making some real good wind currents. Because in the future, millions of people will have a great time drinking with their friends because of something you did. 1776, Independence Day, the founding fathers, same thing. They founded America by doing that great, powerful thing that would influence human being history as we know it. People get the day off and they get to drink with their friends and eat hot dogs. And I really think that is the pinnacle of human existence in the broad term. In the short term, it's of course having a boat, but in the broad term, it's doing something so massively influential in human history that people will forget about it in a couple 100 years, but they will still remember to drink with their friends. And I think that is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So shout out to Ignacio Zaragoza, who battled off the French. And I've been to Mexico. I've been to Mexico City, which is at 10,000 feet, which is crazy. I bet that the elevation of Puebla and the mountainous terrain, because it's in the middle of the country, south central, really, fucked with the French. Because I don't think they can handle it. They have the French. I'm sure they have mountains in France, but that elevation game, it's like playing a game in Denver against the Joker. He's unassuming, kind of walrus looking, but then you come in and he drops 50 on you. And that's what Ignacio did on the French in the mountains. He dropped 50 on the French. And I just want you to know, Ignacio, the amount of margaritas and good times that people have had because of your courageous act, unbelievable. So hats off to you, sir. And I hope because of this, more people remember your name. As they should. All right, we're going to transition here. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone, and happy May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day, that's always a good time. May 7th doesn't have a cool name. I bet May 5th, 6th, and 7th. No, not May 5th. I bet May 6th and 7th are so upset with the 4th and the 5th because they get all these great things, and then they get May the 4th be with you, Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars. And then Cinco de Mayo, everybody's favorite holiday. Drinking tequila, eating quesadillas, having Modelo's at the bar. It's an excuse to drink with your buddies. That's great. And then 6th rolls around, and May the 6th, that doesn't mean anything. May 7th, yeah, it's tough for the rest of May, you know? And then you got Mother's Day coming up on the 10th. So 6, 7, 8, 9, oof. That's a brutal combination. It's like being the unsuccessful family member. It's like being the family member when all your family, works these high achieving jobs, and you're the stand-up comic who does podcasts that get 20 views on YouTube. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm happy with my life, and I'm moving towards something and talented in an art form that is awesome. But I feel you, May 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 9th. I feel you, brothers. All right, moving on. This came out in the news, which I thought was honestly surprising and kind of crazy. I'm going to play a video here. Let's play that video now.
By 2027, every new car in the US will be legally required to have what's called impaired driving prevention tech. We're talking AI surveillance inside your car, infrared cameras tracking your eyes, and sensors in the steering wheel checking your sweat for alcohol. If the AI decides you're buzzed, exhausted, or distracted, it can limit vehicle operation. That's a fancy way of saying it can lock you out and pull the car over autonomously. Safety advocates say it'll save 10,000 lives per year, but critics are calling it a digital kill switch and a massive privacy nightmare.
So every car manufactured after the year of 2027 in America, I'm assuming, yeah, I don't know if it's worldwide, but maybe, will have AI, is required to have AI in the car that will sense you and will prevent you from drinking and driving. So I don't know exactly how this is going to do this. Like if it's monitoring your speech or your, you know, like how you're moving in the car. Maybe it's monitoring your eyes, or I really don't know how the AI is going to tell, because I can't see this going well for at least 5 to 10 years. Like the other day, I asked AI how many E's were in 17, and there was a glitch and it said 3 in the word 17. And like there's a great TikTok account where he's just talking to the AI. If you haven't seen it, go check this out. This guy is hilarious. Where he's just talking to the voice version of ChatGPT, and he's finding these glitches. And apparently the entire company has a email chain fixing the bugs that he comes up with, and it's actually hilarious. Like one of them, he's like, I mean, I don't have my phone. My phone is recording, but one of them is if you ask ChatGPT to time you running a mile. Like if you're like, hey ChatGPT, check it out, try it right now. Time me running a mile. And then you immediately say, oh, I'm done. First of all, ChatGPT can't time you, and then it'll just lie to you. It'll just make up a number. It'll say 7:45 or whatever. Which is so scary that ChatGPT doesn't say like, oh, that's not in my coding. It just lies to you. But the point is, this AI in these cars, like it's gonna have so many bugs, and I guarantee you, they say they're saving 10,000 lives from drunk driving, but I want to see how many lives are injured from like the car not suddenly not stopping or whatever it's going. Like I don't think this is a totally great idea. Like what happened to just a bare bones car? Like why isn't anybody making just a bare bones truck where you have manual windows and like that was fine. Why did we have to do all these things? That was fine. And I mean, this might be a more conservative take, but I don't want my car to be watching me all the time. 'Cause I mean, that totally I mean, like, okay, think about this. Think about this. Well, don't think about it too hard, but, like, when you're a teenager, all teenagers, you don't have a place to live your own, you don't have a place to go. So when I was a teenager, we'd drive out some canyon in Idaho and, you have a little makeout session in the back seat. So you're telling me these AI is just gonna be watching teenagers make out in the back of cars? This is disgusting. And I just don't see how it would work. And it's like I'm tired of being watched all the time by these things. And then we need all the data to store it, so we put it in data centers in the middle of beautiful areas. Like when I'm driving up to Denver to Fort Collins, I go up to the Comedy Fort up there sometimes to do some comedy. And to my left, if I'm driving north, and to my left, there's the beautiful Rocky Mountains. Like over there's the Rocky Mountain National Park. And as I'm driving through it, past it, numerous times as the sun is setting, instead of seeing the beautiful Rocky Mountains, I'm just seeing the sunset over an Amazon data warehouse. And that's going to be so many people in this country because there is so much beautiful land in this country that I've loved and personally enjoyed and explored, and so have other living creatures. And now everything is watching us, our cars, our phones, our everything. And now we have to put that data somewhere, so we throw it in the middle of the Rocky Mountains or Salt Lake City or wherever. It's such a weird direction we're going right now. And I use AI time from time to time because I don't want to fall behind, but this stuff is here to stay. And seems like it's every day. And the government is clearly not as afraid of it as the people because they're putting it in every single car in 2027. And I had this joke, or I thought this was kind of funny. Like, if every car in 2027 does prevent you from drunk driving, and obviously I'm not promoting drunk driving. I don't think drunk driving is good, especially in the age of Uber. Pay the 40 bucks, whatever it is. Split the Uber, walk home. Figure it out. You don't have to be stranded at a stranger's house anymore. Like there are options. You have options. You have so many car share ride apps. And if you're from somewhere like where I grew up in the middle of nowhere where there is no public transportation, one, the city needs to figure that shit out. And two, have figure out a ride. It's not worth it. But I did think this was funny that if every car in 2027 does have this AI capability of making you think or of shutting out down the car and having a kill switch when it does think you're drunk. No car, the number one selling car in the Midwest and Idaho and Montana and Wyoming and all these heavy drunk driving states is going to be the 2026 version for the next 150 years. You're telling me someone in Topeka, Kansas is buying a 2027 car that has this feature instead of a 2026? No shot. We're up in Minnesota or Montana. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So I'm curious to see what will happen from this. But I bet the sales of 2027 vehicles will see a sharp decline from people. And I don't know. I mean, drunk driving is obviously a problem, and you shouldn't do it. Use Uber; it's so easy. But is it really worth being watched constantly in your car? Like that is insane to me. That is totally crazy to me. I don't know. So that's my stance on it. I am not pro putting everything in the cars. I just want a bare bones car that's safe. Like put all the safety features in, but just have a bare bones vehicle. Don't make it $47,000. Make it 22 grand, man. So you have a $200 a month car payment. What happened to that? Why are we scamming everybody? The whole world, America just is like, who can scam everyone the hardest? And nobody trusts each other now to the point where if you're a good person and you try to do something good, they're like, what angle are you what are you trying to get from me? So that, I mean, either our salaries have to go up or the scamming has to go down. I don't know what's coming first, but all right, quick before I switch, And I talked about my hometown. So my hometown, there's a 10-mile road between the two big towns, and all the bars are in the northern town. And they don't create a bus system that goes past 2 a.m. And the cops sit at the bottom of this hill and just pull people over. It's the number one DUI county in the entire country. It was on Jimmy, either Fallon or Kimmel, where they came into town and got pulled over and did a little piece on it. And all I have to say is if you really care about DUIs that much to pull all these people over, make the bus go until 2 a.m. Moving on. I've been doing the news on this podcast a little bit in between interviews. I'm gonna ramp up the interviews, but it's so crazy to me that this podcast, when you're doing the news in America, is just it seems like it's the alien AI podcast. Like maybe that's just the age we're in, but every single week it's like AI, aliens, AI, war in Iran, AI, aliens, war in Iran. It's just like, oh, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Notice how I didn't say Epstein files. So maybe the distraction is working. Remember those things? But yeah, I mean, I'll play the video. Here's Trump talking about the UFO.
Do you have an update on the UFO files and what might be, when we're going to be seeing those?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason that's been in the minds of people for a long time, and that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have, and I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe. So you're going to be reading about it.
So they say they're going to release some more UFO news. They've been saying that since the 1970s, though. And it's clearly been used as a distraction when the people don't like something that's going on. They'll just use it as a way to be like, oh, aliens might be real, and divert the attention. And I do think aliens are real. I don't think it's possible, mathematically possible, for there not to be aliens out there, there to be life. I just think it's so crazy they think we can't handle it. Like, how dumb do you think we are? Dumber than Congress? I don't think so. I don't think that's true at all. I think the people can handle it. I don't understand why you are not being transparent with your people. And by saying that you're not being transparent with your people, you are losing the trust every single day of the people. Every single time something happens now, the immediate reaction from people is, how am I getting scammed? What's going wrong? And I don't blame people. I really don't blame people. Like, that's the first, like, Trump, there was an assassination attempt with the president in the building. And the first immediate reaction is fake news. It was staged, and it might have been, but I'm just saying, because if you are not transparent with your people, no one will believe you. And then when you need people to believe you, they won't. It's going to be like with Trump in office, we're going to run into this, the boy cried wolf. The orange man cried Iran. He just keeps lying to us, and his rates are dropping like crazy. And the people aren't seeing, like, nobody cares about aliens if their rent is $3,000 a month and they're working 2 jobs and seeing nothing from it, and they're never going to own a home, and they can't afford healthcare. Like, are the aliens bringing the healthcare? Then bring them out. Bring them out. If the aliens are bringing free energy, all these things, if that's what you mean by it will disrupt everything, because that's like the main argument is you don't want to know the alien truth because it'll keep you up at night and will disrupt everything. It'll make the Dow go down. Maybe the people are ready for the truth. Maybe the people are ready for the free energy that comes from gravity that seems to be the reason that you're killing off all these scientists. I think the people are ready. And I really hope that this alien news, like releasing all these files, I hope it actually is something and it's not just them kicking the rock down down the road. But honestly, I have no faith in the orange man who cried I ran, because he's going to keep talking, he's going to keep lying to us. And honestly, I think we just got to wait this out until he's out of office. Like, what an absolute flip he did on the American people. Said he was going to do all these things, claimed Biden was wrong for doing all these things, and then he does them himself. We are just in a dark place in this country, and it's just, I think everybody is so sick and tired of it. I know I am. And these, if you didn't hear, there's been earthquakes around Area 51. So clearly something is happening in the alien world. And I hope something crazy happens in the next couple of years. I hope we learn the truth, because I think that is the best policy. One more thing, and then I'll get into I have 2 quick Reddit advices, which are fun. So I heard on a podcast that 30% of white collar jobs, honestly, pretty much 30% of white collar jobs will be gone because of AI in the next 5 to 10 years. And I keep hearing, like, one, it shows that the pendulum always swings. So earlier when I was growing up, when I was going through school, it was like, you got to learn to code, you got to get a white collar job. And then it swings back, and all the people who went into engineering and being a mechanic and HVAC and all that, now they say those jobs are safe because they require human thought throughout them. And so the pendulum always swings. So maybe they'll swing back to the middle, and it won't be as bad as 30%. I hope not. I don't want people to lose their jobs, but it also just shows how little work white collar people actually do, in the age of technology. But what I really want to talk about is, I keep hearing, like, oh, we might get universal basic income, which I strongly doubt that'll happen because corruption has always existed amongst people. So I really don't see, the wealth gap not being exponential, even if we have the capability of, like, everyone getting paid a universal basic income. So I don't think you should bank on that, because I don't think that's going to happen. But the main argument against universal basic income that I hear from people is, what are people going to do all day? They get their identity from working their job. Like, I get up every day and I do good work, and that's who I am. I'm a hardworking man. And I get that. You should have something that you do that you have an identity of, but I keep hearing, like, what will people do? First of all, if you're not working and you don't know what to do with yourself, you got to work on yourself. You got to get some hobbies. You got to get some skills. You got to increase your spirituality. You got to get out into nature. You are not fully tapping into the consciousness or the experience of being a human being if you cannot be someone when you don't have your job. Because your job will come to an end one day, and it will come to a close. And if you don't know who you are outside of that, that is honestly such a shame. That is a real shame. And so, what will you do? I think spirituality would increase significantly if people didn't have to work as much. I think health and fitness would increase substantially. I think people would be able to spend time with their families, with their kids, which is, of course, a good thing. So we don't do. We get a month of maternity and paternity leave in this country, which is just ridiculous. When in Europe you get a year, which is honestly probably still too low, especially with how much children learn in the first 3 years of their lives. People would get skills. They would learn to cook food. You would see the arts increase. You would see culture increase. You would see better music. You would see better art. You would see better, cleaner streets. You'd see all the things that we don't do. It's the same way in your house when you're super busy. The laundry stacks up, you don't dust the house or whatever. And this stuff adds up over time, and you got a dirty house, but you're on the outside, your life's going well. But if you had a universal basic income, the house wouldn't be dirty. It would just be a clean life. And I think we saw this during COVID. Like, what happened when we didn't have to work? Like, that was a real trial for the human experience of, like, what would you do if you didn't have to work as much? And what was the response? Well, everyone immediately wanted to buy a van and live by the river. They wanted to go out and experience nature. They were being called to Mother Earth. And there's a serious conflict between Mother Earth and capitalism for some reason. There's a weird contradiction. The data center is put right in front of the Rocky Mountains. And Mother Earth, clearly, they're not communicating. I think spirituality would increase. I think people would have more time to explore some of those corners of the universe, of consciousness that I love to explore. And I've been fortunate enough to have the time and the will to do that. And I think a lot of people are missing out. That's why they don't really feel whole within themselves, because they haven't done the work. And I just think the argument against universal basic income, because people wouldn't know what to do without jobs, I think is really highlighting the problem that people have, and that they don't know themselves or the world around them as much as they should, and they think they do because they have a good job. And nothing wrong with having a good job. I just think there's a lot of work to do outside of your job. All right, now we're going to go into a Reddit advice. I've been doing this the last couple episodes. It's a fun thing to talk about. I just go on hashtag advice on Reddit and pull some things from there and hopefully give some advice out. All right, the first one is, I ruined my life by seeing a prostitute. I'm sure some other people have been there, buddy. He's a 31-year-old man, and he's never had a girlfriend, suffered from anxiety, and he always considered himself a good person, but last year he made a poor decision and he lost his virginity. Oof. Virginity is tough, to a prostitute. He says he thinks he ruined his life. All right, a couple things. First of all, you didn't ruin your life. You had sex with a prostitute when you didn't have a girlfriend. And honestly, not great to have sex with a prostitute, but it's not going to ruin your life, man. You'll be okay. I promise. First of all, 31 years old, never had a girlfriend. That's crazy. And if you're in this situation, I'm sorry, bro, but you need to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. You need to go talk to some girls, go talk to some ladies, go talk to some people. Start exercising, get your confidence up. Because if you're 31 years old and you've never had a girlfriend and you're not asexual, something is wrong there, and you really need to work on that. And honestly, this might be a good thing for you. This might be a blessing in disguise, because now that you've got your virginity out of the way, it's not going to be looming over you when you have these interactions with women. Because if you're 31 years old, a lot of these women are going to be way past losing their virginity, and you don't want to be going through that, something that most people went through, in their late teens or early 20s. And so now you kind of checked off that box, and maybe you'll have better sexual encounters now that you've moved past the virginity section. And it's tough that you lost it to a prostitute, but at least you'll always have a fun fact about me. Those are always hard to think of when someone's like, hey, everybody think of a fun fact about them. Now you got yours for the rest of your life. But first of all, your life is not ruined. Move on. You had sex with a prostitute. People have been doing that since the beginning of time. It's the oldest profession. I've never done it. I'm not saying you should just do it all the time, but I'm saying it happens, man. It happens. Move on. You got your virginity out of the way, and I think it's time to work on yourself. 31, never had a girlfriend. Didn't lose your virginity until 31. I don't know if you were waiting for religious reasons or just couldn't. But it's time to flip the switch, man. Now you got a fun fact. Your life's not over. All right, next one. My roommate's girlfriend basically moved in and I'm losing it. I'm 25 and I share a 2-bedroom apart with my roommate, 24, who's been best friends since college. We split rent 50-50. It's always been chill until about 3 months ago when he started dating this girl, and she's around a lot at first. She eats our groceries, showers here, watches TV all day, and sometimes even sleeps in the living room. I've talked to him once and said, hey, just making sure we're cool splitting everything. He laughed it off. I don't want to be a jerk or mess up the vibe, but I'm starting to feel like I'm being taken advantage of. Okay. You're 25. You're in your mid-20s. You have a roommate. He's got a new girlfriend. She's around all the time, eating your food, showering. First thing I will say, eating the food, that is very annoying. I think if she eats your food, that is stepping over a boundary. As for the other stuff, she uses the shower, she sleeps in the living room. Bro, that's just something that happens in your 20s. If your buddy's got a girlfriend, she's going to be around. Honestly, it's pretty flattering that a woman feels comfortable in your space. Because I feel like they probably don't in a lot of them. And the fact that she feels comfortable enough around you and him in your space to chill, just hang out, it's honestly a good sign, man. And as for splitting 50-50, you expect the girl to pay for hanging around? Dude, rent does not work like that. It's not a timestamp. You don't clock in and clock out on the old rent. Your buddy's still paying half, and he's got a girlfriend. It sounds like you don't have a girlfriend that's always around, so maybe you just don't understand that yet. But in your 20s, this is something that just happens. And if it's really bothering you, you might want to go and get a studio apartment, because that is the only way this won't happen. People get partners, people have friends, people have people over. It's just part of growing up and being around it, you know? Like, imagine if Friends, the TV show, they were like, Chandler was like, Joey's always got women around. And that was a big problem in the show. Of course it's not. This is just part of being an adult, man. And I would say there are boundaries. Like, just set the boundaries with her. Have a conversation with her. Like, hey, don't eat my food. Honestly, that's like really, like, clean up your clothes. That's really like the big issue here. But your roommate's your bro. Dude, be happy for him that he found a girl who likes to hang around. This shit just happens in your 20s. And honestly, either get your own place or learn to live with it and set some boundaries. Don't let her eat your food. Tell her to clean up her clothes. Like, say there are some rules, but as for her paying rent or you feeling like you're being taken advantage of, this is life, man. Things happen. She's happy to be around. I think you got to move past it, and you're overreacting a little bit. All right, everyone, that is the 7th episode. I'm trying to keep them under an hour. Please like, subscribe, follow on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm going to get some more stand-up clips going on Instagram. I've got some banger jokes that I just need to get filmed at Comedy Works, and I'll release those. And I appreciate everyone who's listening. Yeah, thanks for listening.